What do you get when you throw two natural born intuitive mediums together with a passion for animals and empowerment?
Spirits, angels, and guides. Oh my. I'm empowerment medium Tara Diana.
And I am intuitive medium Nancy Brady. Together, we focus on the good,
The bad,
and the ugly of working with the spirit realm.
but mostly we're focusing on the good.
Hey everyone, welcome back to our podcast. Hello, Tara.
Hey, how are you?
I'm doing good. Today is going to be one of my favorite episodes. I love it when our listeners write in and ask questions. So today they have questions, we have answers.
I love that. I love that. I love that someone takes the time to actually send us questions and be like, hey, ladies, what are your thoughts on this? That is so cool. They do it all the time in the lives, right?
Yeah.
We live. So that's super fun.
Definitely. So the first question is from John. And why do you think people are so scared of Ouija boards?
Oh, that's a good question. That always makes me laugh. I'm not going to lie, Nancy. For me personally, I've never had a bad experience with the Ouija board.
Right.
Ever. I just never have. And I remember we talked about this in another episode when I was little. Somehow there was like Martell put out like a Ouija board game. And I remember I had that Ouija. I could have sworn I had it in my cupboard down here from when I was like little. And obviously I've moved around. If I couldn't find it, I looked for it the other day. So yeah, you know what? People are scared of them, and everyone has this spooky story. Even some of the most versed, mediums and intuitives. But I think the biggest thing is the reason they're scared is because they bring energy through and they don't know anything about it. It's not so much that the energy is necessarily, frightening in its epic way. It's frightening to us as a human because we're always afraid of what we don't know and we don't understand. And most kids, I'm going to say it, most kids between the ages of like 8 and like 17 are the ones that have these freaky experiences. And think about it for a second. What is the freakiest thing that happens in a Ouija board? It is legitimately when it moves by itself, or the cup, or I forget what you call the little piece.
Planchette.
I never remember that. The planchette shoots across the room or whatever. Why does it do that? Because there's so much energy on it, right? It's not about moving it. It's about the energy having it. So when that much energy's there, unbridled, like just like, and it's not energy from spirit, from the loved ones, from those crossed over. It's our energy being put into it. And remember, when you're young and you're into this and you're like, Ouija board, we jump on, and we got our hands on it, and we're like, and we're the stuff. You want it so bad, you're like forcing energy down into it, right? You're like,
yeah,
bring me Kurt Cobain, bring me Elvis Presley, bring me Princess Diana. I used to always, come on, die, come on, baby. But that's the kind of, so you're building all this energy. If you have 4 people, 5 people, 6 people doing it, that's a lot of energy. That thing's going to go skyrocketing no matter what.
So here's another question. Riddle me this one. I know people that have told me stories where they've done, teenagers, dark at night after watching a horror movie, and they get all into it and they do that. And then the lights have gone out and someone gets scratched or there's physical manifestations. And I know my sister, when she was 18, same sort of thing. They were all doing a Ouija board and the lights went out and someone got scratched. And I said, are you sure it wasn't someone else in the room that was coming through and scratching you? What's your take on this?
I've actually, this is a great conversation that we haven't had. I can think of one particular client. I haven't seen her in a while, but her son was a great manifester of spirit, a great medium, young guy. So there was always spirits in the house. She was adamant she was being attacked, adamant she was being physically attacked. And she showed me some scratches and things like that.
Yeah.
I have a really, really hard time feeding into the physicality. Now, I know there's physical mediumship. I do. I've seen it. I've partaken in seances in England. I've done that work. So I know there is, but I truly believe that the human body can do a lot of shit.
Yeah, I think so too. It's okay. We have the disclaimer that we will swear in this. But I did send you the photo. My one client has regular hand imprints on her body. And it's crazy, crazy. Like when you think about spirit coming through that way. Now, I've also said to her, this is where people are going to want to rewind to our energetic boundaries episode and stuff like that, where you're putting that protection around you, because I do firmly believe that if we're setting the precedent to not bring things in around us and we're having those healthy boundaries, that's going to help a lot as well. And I think when people are doing Ouija boards, they go in so wide open.
Yeah, yep, that's it right there. That's it right there, baby. They are wide open. They have no idea what they're doing. They, even if you read a book about, oh, I should set intentions. Oh, I should put a prayer protection around ourselves. If you don't know what you're doing, you don't know what you're doing. It's like saying to me, Tara, go up to the chalkboard and do some kind of calculus. And I'd be like, X equals Z times Y. There. It's something. I don't know what it is, but it's something. I want to go back to the handprints and stuff. I truly, truly, truly believe. I don't believe in possession. I don't believe. Why would spirit, Nancy? I got so serious. Why would spirit, Nancy, want to cause harm? I have never, in all my years of work, and again, I have some really great friends who will come at me about this, but I've never come across a spirit, and you can't tell me that in all the years I've been doing the work, I'm that blessed that no nasty spirits come through. You know what I mean? Like, I just never come across a spirit that has wanted to cause harm, that physically has attacked. I mean, they can manipulate energy, they can move energy if they're strong enough, and if that's their will, but they're not going to throw you down the stairs. They're not going to put you in front of a car, and they sure as HE double hockey sticks are not going to mess with your mind. It's you that messes with your mind. It's you that gets freaked out by spirit coming in and coming through. And then all of a sudden you go down these paths that are the exorcist and all these things. Now, I know things like The Exorcist were based on true stories and whatnot, based on true stories. There's a lot of made up in the metaphysics.
A little bit of embellishment
for sure. So again, you know what, the Ouija board thing, they're scared because they don't know what they're doing. They don't know that spirit is not coming in to cause harm. They get excited. They falsify without realizing they're falsifying. So what I mean by that is they're pushing too hard on. Same with table tilting. You can do the same thing. So you'll have the people in table tilting that will not touch the table. You need to touch the table. You need to energetically touch the table. You just touch it lightly, but they won't because they're all watching you to see who's moving it. Or you have the people that put their hands plan down and try to shove it across the room, right? The same with Ouija boards. So there is the concept that, you get scared because there's just too much that's happened that you don't understand.
So I'm going to go down the little rabbit hole a little bit here, because I know we're going to have some of our listeners out there with this question of, well, what about demons and entities and different things like that? Because you see that all the time on ghost shows where it's like there's a demonic possession and there's all these things. And so that's where I know for my mom, when I was growing up, she's like, don't play with the devil board. You're going to bring the devil through. Like, it was just, that was the sort of thought process from my Roman Catholic upbringing around Ouija boards and tarot cards and stuff. So what is your opinion on, and I know I'm kind of picking on the ghost shows a little bit, but I know there's a few out there that's like their whole thing. They go in, they provoke, they try to get it all tagged onto a demon.
So here's the thing. Organized religion did a real coup and decided that and what is organized religion? And this is not to upset or to dismiss anyone's belief structures. This is not it. This is my humble personal opinion. But what is the core root of organized religion? Well, it is fear-based. You must follow the rules of God, whatever God is to you. And the Bible, which has been rewritten like 26 times, things taken out, things added in. you must follow these rules. And if you do not follow these rules, Nancy, you will go to hell, where there is this awful being that will burn you alive, and you will be dancing with these people with horns on their head and blah, blah, blah. So for me, demons, etc., don't exist. I've never come across one. Negative energy exists,
Mm-hmm.
right? Negative energy for sure.
Mm-hmm.
Spiritual negative energy, not so much.
Right.
They've crossed over.
And I agree with
There's
that.
no
When
hell.
you think about like the Amityville horror house, right?
Mhm.
And I've seen different mediums where they've gone and there's absolutely nothing there. But what is there is energy that people have gone and put that negative thought energy on the house, right?
And again, it
'Cause-
comes down to psychosomatics, right? It comes down to your mindset.
Yeah.
It comes down to what happened. We need to do a whole episode. We need to do a whole episode on Warren and his wife. I can't remember.
Gordon Lorraine.
Lorraine, and that's it. I want to say Warren and Shirley, but anyway, Warren. We need to do a whole episode on that. So let's talk about the Amityville horror. I was introduced. Bless my mother, who's still with us. She's I was going to say her age, and she'd never forgive me.
No.
Her age. She's been around a while, and when I was 5 years old, she let me stay up and watch The Exorcist with her. Now that's a whole lot. But I was introduced to shows like that very early in my life, and I have been I'm not a splatter kind of like gore horror fan, but I like the scary stuff, the demon stuff, and all that. I like it because I don't believe it.
Same with me.
And I'm not scared of it.
Yeah.
I mean, I will act scared. I'll hide because I'm scared of the jumps and stuff, but I'm not
Yeah.
scared because I don't believe in that stuff. But here's what I was trying to get to with that. You take the Amityville, you take, what's the other one? The Grunge, and there is another one. What's the one with the doll? Annabelle?
Yeah.
Yeah, you take all of those, and what do they all have in common? They have someone with a mental health issue.
Mm.
Right? They all have someone with a mental health issue. And then it expands into Hollywood. Now, you talked about the ghost hunters. Are we going to get to any other questions? We may have to do a second episode.
Well, I'll got two more that I'll limit it to two more. We'll wrap it up and we'll go to the next one.
I'm not ready yet. We have to talk about this point. So you've got these Amityville, and like I said, you've got these mental health and people coming in there. And what does TV producers, directors say to you? Now, I've had 3 of them in my home looking to see if they could do a show with me. And I turned them all down. This was many, many, many years ago. I turned them all down. I've done documentaries and things, and I've been filmed at the train station and all that jazz.
Nice.
But every single one of them, 3 different producers that came to my space said, well, how can we make it more entertaining? Can you make sure they cry? So think about what that is. So think about Teresa Caputo. She's all fashion and glam and fluff and nail. Well, not that I'm not either, but anyway, she's all the things, and she's good TV content,
Mm-hmm.
right? Tyler Henry. What's his name?
Tyler Henry.
Kyle Gray, right?
Kyle Gray, Tyler Henry. Yeah.
Okay. So all these guys, good-looking guys, have some clairvoyance, can talk to people. One of my favorite YouTubers, Bunny, she's married to Jelly Roll. She did an interview with him. She was blown away with Tyler Henry. And that's great. That's fabulous. But again, it's all about getting viewers. It's all about that. And we're not assuming we want viewers. Hey, over here. but the point being is that these shows have to be really, really entertaining.
Yeah.
Like, they have to have that scare drop. They have to make it bigger than it is. Because if we just said that the oldest son in Amityville had a mental health issue, and he so did, he was very unwell, then what's the catch? What's the hook? Why should we go watch that? There's lots of people, unfortunately, that suffer from mental health.
Let's make the promise to our listeners that the next episode, let's do it on Ed and Lorraine Warren and haunted objects.
I'm gonna have to do some research again, because I haven't dived down that rabbit hole for years now. But I wanna. Can we also do one on Doreen Virtue?
Yes, I think we should.
Like a whole episode on.
Yeah, 100%. I'll write this down.
And then we should get lawyers and make sure that we have disclaimers.
Disclaimers out the yin yang.
Okay, good stuff.
Okay, So the next question is from Sheila. Why do some loved ones come through easily and others not at all?
That's a really awesome question, and it's a little heartbreaking. Um, I truly believe they have to want to come through, number one, and they have to have a purpose to come through.
Yeah.
And sometimes it's just not enough that we want them to come through.
Mm-hmm.
Does that make sense?
It does. It does.
So I'm going to give you an example, Nan.
Mm-hmm.
That's my new name for you, by the way.
It's great. It's all good. A lot of people call me Nan.
Yeah, well, it's more special when I do it. But anyway,
Of course it is.
just kidding. Okay, so I have a really good friend. So I dated this guy from like grade 12, like 8 years with him. Became really, really close to his mom. I used to live with him and everything.
Mm-hmm.
I don't know why I wanted to say in sin. Anyway, we got me on religion now. So anyway, I used to live with him. He's actually how I met my current husband. My husband I've been married to for like 25 years. Anyway, I digress.
Keep digressing. Okay.
Going back. So I became really, really good friends with his mom. Like, I'm talking like inseparable. She was a bit of a younger mom. We went out and saw male strippers. It was fun. We had a good time back in my late teens, early 20s. And she got cancer, and it was I'd already split up from him, and I was already seeing my husband, and she got really sick, and it dragged on for quite a while, but it was, it was a big deal. And she made it to my wedding. She made it to her son got married as well, right a month after me. And then she didn't make it to my first child, Alana, being born. And so I really thought she would come through. She was really excited for me, and I really thought she would come through. And then I thought she'd come through, as when Ryan was born. Then I thought she would come through and celebrate these milestones with me. And I have never, ever had her come through.
Wow.
And people know about her. So there are some people in the community that know about her, that have sat in a circle, and I've said, okay, let's try to bring this energy through. When you're doing development, maybe she's upstairs.
Yeah. The doctor going to see her.
Right? Yeah. Hey. But I've never felt her. I've never felt her.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't understand it. I talk to dead people. Come on.
Mm-hmm.
And I couldn't understand it. But I really wonder if she just is watching and she's just happy to let me be and do what I need to do.
Mm-hmm.
And to be honest with you, Nancy, I haven't had a lot of people, like loved ones, come through. All my grandparents are on the other side. All my great aunts that we were all very close to, they've all been, there's been sporadic ones. Now, I don't go looking for readings.
Mm-hmm.
I don't. And usually it's not something I need from a loved one. It'd be something more like, okay, let's look at my business path. You know what I mean? But I truly believe that spirits just don't come through. I also believe it's what you're looking for. So if someone sits down and they've been sitting there, I have never not been able to really bring someone through. I always say I don't have the 411 to spirit, right? I can't just pick and choose who comes through, but I kind of can. Yeah. So, but there have been times that person's just like, nope, not interested, not today, friend.
Yeah. I'm the same. I definitely, if there's a request, you can, as the medium, you can ask them to step forward. In most cases they do, but yeah, 100%. Sometimes they just aren't ready to talk. Or again, I'm going to say this because you probably hear Tara and I say this all the time. In a reading, we get what we need, not what we want.
Truth.
Yeah.
Truth. And that's the other thing, sometimes the message that comes from Auntie Sue when you wanted mom is the most important message that you're going to get.
Yeah.
Because we don't know what they're all doing over there, what they're thinking, how they process. We don't know that.
Yeah.
And there's no one that can tell you that they've, channeled this, that, and the other thing and whatever. When I channel, I'm not up there like sitting there saying, hey, boo, what you doing up there today? How's it going? Or is it sunshine? Is it raining? You know what I mean? I'm like, what's your message? Thank you.
Exactly. Yeah.
So I have yet to hear anyone internationally, globally, locally come up with exactly what people are doing in spirit. So I don't know what their reasons are for coming through.
Mm-hmm.
Don't know if it's how much we want it on this side, or if it's they have something that's so important they're popping through. If they feel our angst, I know they feel our angst. I know they feel if we're sitting in a certain place. That's why they give us signs. That I know. That I know with my full chest. I can say that. But why they choose to come down and who chooses to come first, and why does grandma? Well, I know why grandmas always come through first, because they're not always, but they're bringing the next people, right? They've been over longer, 9 times out of 10, etc., etc. I mean, it's just it's a hope and a prayer. Put out the intention, and more likely than not, they'll come. But I don't believe spirits come just to say hi. I don't. I don't believe they come in just to say, hey, no, you're thinking about me. I'm here. I always feel like there is a message. I've never brought a spirit through without a message. It might not be a huge message. The message might be, I know you're longing for me. I know you're grieving for me. I want you to know I'm around you. That's a message.
Okay, fair. Yeah. Then
That's not just a, hey, I'm here.
Yeah.
That's a message. That's why I don't jive with the traditional evidential mediumship, 80% evidence, 20% message. And I never have.
Yeah, because by the
That's
time
not how I work.
demonstrating who they have in front of them, you run out of time and you haven't gotten a message. And the whole point is you want a message from the loved one. I think that's definitely where North American mediums differ from the UK, for sure.
Absolutely. Although I've seen some really cool, and I've read some books. You guys should read about the Fox sisters. And they are, it's just a phenomenal book. And one day I'll go through my books and get that information, because it was such a good read. I have a certain book, so.
Yeah, we should actually do like a must-read download for our listeners.
We should. I got to find out where my organizer put all my books.
Okay. I might have her phone number. I'll give.
Shout out to Tabitha.
All right. So one more question, and then we're out of time. Can anyone bring in a loved one? And this person just put AK as their initials, so I don't know who that is. So if you're listening, AK.
Oh, well, everyone is a psychic and everyone is a medium. As we always say, not everyone should do the work, but everyone has a capability. I think my biggest thing is coming from experience with clients that come to me and say, I can't feel so-and-so anymore. I've never seen him in a dream. How come my cousin sees him in a dream, but I can't see him in a dream, et cetera, is that some of us are just hardwired to do the work easily.
Mm-hmm.
And trust is a huge process. And generally speaking, when we start to lose loved ones, et cetera, we are at a certain age. That means we've gone our whole life, not everyone, I'm just generally speaking, with a certain belief structure, maybe not feeling spirit, maybe not, interested in metaphysical, spiritual stuff. So you've gone this whole life not tapping in, not noticing, the shadow figure behind you, not to scare anyone, but we'll talk about Amityville later. But, not recognizing the signs of spirit. Do you understand? And so all of a sudden you have someone that's crossed over. Let's say it's your mother has crossed over, and you really want to connect. You really want to do that. Well, 9 times out of 10, you're doing it, whether it's through sleep and you just don't remember. Not everyone remembers their dreams.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Right? My husband's incredible at remembering his dreams. And they're weird dreams, but he remembers all the details, and it goes on and on and on. I'll be like, and right? But having said that, not everyone does that. But that's generally when spirits will come through the easiest for those that are not working psychically, intuitively, mediumistically, is because we are at a conscious level where we're in subconscious, not conscious. So we're not fighting the coincidences. We're not fighting these things. Do you know what I mean? Instead, we are in that sleep. So yes, everyone can do it. Why do you not do it when you really want to do it? If you're not practicing it, is because you don't trust the process. You don't know what you're looking for. You haven't gone, you might have read a book or two, watched, YouTube drives me insane for this kind of stuff. But, you might have gone and watched someone or whatnot. But the thing is if you don't practice,
yes,
it's like learning, Remember what I said to Roger before he passed? He was a boxer. He was a client of mine, and he was always trying to do something specific. And I would always say, Roger, think of it like going into the next fight. You've got to retrain yourself to do this. It's the same thing. If you suddenly decide you want to, tap into spirit.
Yeah.
The other thing too is you've got to have someone around you that can tell you, someone you trust that can say, hey, you know what? You're making shit up. You want it too bad, or no, that's it, baby. You're on the right track.
Absolutely. That's why development circles are so important. So important.
Absolutely.
Yeah. My first, I did hundreds of readings, and before I kind of hung my little tile up, and most of it was I just needed, believe it or not, I wanted a testimonial, but I also wanted validation that what I was bringing through was accurate. So, a lot of it was integral because it helped me hone my skills to go, yeah, this is where that intuition is sitting. That's my sweet spot. Whereas this might be a little where, you start to gauge the energy in your body that you're getting into more of your human than your spirit when you're connecting and stuff. So,
yeah, I honestly, it comes down to trusting the process and where your mindset is as a human.
Yeah.
That a lot of religions, look down on mediumship.
And I'm going to bring up a good point here. I've had people come to me where they've just recently lost someone, and I've told them I won't do a reading for them. And it's not because spirit didn't make it to the other side. Spirit's there right away. Boom, they're there. I need the person to process their grief a little more and to go through the healing at least a couple weeks so that it's not so raw. Because when we're that upset and emotional for losing our loved one, it's hard to see through that veil of grief to hear some of the subtle messages that are coming through.
Right?
Yeah.
Yeah. So yes, it's just easier for some because it's a different mindset. People talk, if everyone is a psychic and everyone is a medium, and then we talk about, inheriting it. I think that what the inherited part is how easy it comes. Because everyone's a psychic and everyone's a medium, there's no inheriting that. I think what it is that it's the level of ability that's inherited. The ability to accept that you can do this work and trust it easier than others. I think that's what's inherited, and just the level of it. The level of, my mom was a very good intuitive with no interest in it, no recognition of it at all.
And that's fair. But yeah, again, that is, you're predisposed to be open and mindful to it.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think what I was trying to say, it's not like so-and-so has the gene, her mother has the gene, her grandmother has the gene. Everyone has the gene. What it is they have this extra little oomph to them, right? And that actually will absolutely separate a good intuitive from a so-so intuitive, right?
The oomph.
The oomph.
The oomph.
No, seriously, boo-boo. Man, don't laugh at me when we talk about the oomph. We've got the oomph. And
I think we should break in a rap now. Oomph, oomph.
Yeah. When you said AK, I instantly went to NWA and one of their rap songs. I hate to say, oh my goodness, let's not go there. Okay, back to this. I think we've
used our time for the week.
Those are good questions.
They're great questions. And so anyone else listening, please drop us an email. Throw your questions in the comments. We are on YouTube. We are both on all the platforms. You can find me everywhere at Nancy Christine Brady, and you can find the lovely, talented Tara at
Everything is Spirit Essence by Tara Diana.
So whether it be TikTok, Instagram, YouTube, go check it out. You can connect to us that way. You can definitely send any sort of messages. And until next time,
Technically,
yeah.
for that, we got that.
Wants to do the doodle.
You know what the other thing is we should mention is that we're going to have some guests on eventually.
Yes. And so
We have to rabbit hole first, but then we'll have some guests on.
totally. And we're working on a form. But in the meantime, if you're interested in being interviewed by us, definitely flip us an email and we'll get some stuff started.
It'll be like the Spirit Essence show, but way more fun.
There you go.
Okay, everyone. Until next time.
Yeah, until next time. And thanks for listening and see you again.
See you in the rabbit hole.